My dear people of Southern Cameroons, my dear people of Amazonia, fellow Africans who have the opportunity to watch this communication, and I should say this message is also being extended to world leaders, especially those of the West. Today is the first day in the month of February in the year of the Lord 2019. I'd like to take this opportunity to point out that since 2016, that the people of Southern Cameroons got locked in a crisis with La République du Cameroun, we have observed a pattern. We have observed a certain attitude that tells us that the entire world appears to be helpless before a serious, bloodthirsty dictator like Mr. Paul Biya. Even international instances that we knew in the past, I say in the past because today we are beginning to have a different view of those institutions as being serious defenders of human rights, have today turned a blind eye to the carnage that is going on in Southern Cameroons, and make specific reference to the Commonwealth of Nations, which is an organization to which Cameroon belongs. And Cameroon belongs to that organization particularly because of the people of the Southern Cameroons. I also refer to the United Nations Commission on Human Rights and Freedom, which has recently admitted La République du Cameroun into its high circles, despite all what the entire world is seeing in full operation in Southern Cameroons. Today, I'm bringing this message to our people for us to understand that what appeared in the past to simply be negligence today turns out very neatly to be a definitely well-knitted international conspiracy. And this conspiracy is led by France. My dear people, while the days ahead will be very defining for our struggle because of the mobilization of forces of other Central African countries at the behest of France to fight our unarmed people, basically because we are asking for our rights, the days are also going to be quite hot on the diplomatic front. I say this because a cable has been leaked to us, which indicates that in the days or weeks ahead, the Swiss government is going to organize a retreat for some Southern Cameroonians that they are going to be preparing, that they will come out eventually and declare that they are talking on our behalf, so that they will be the people that France will push across the world that should be used for negotiations concerning the ongoing conflict in Southern Cameroons. And the objective is mainly to ensure that all our years of suffering, that the sacrifices we have made this far, that every dream that we have will be crushed just to protect the economic interests of France. Right now, as I talk, some of those people are already out there playing into those books, and they definitely are hoping that they are going to play a very fast and smart one on us, that before we open our eyes to know exactly what is happening, we would already have tied ourselves and bundled our innocent and unsuspecting people and handed back to France in colonialism. I say this to draw the attention of our African brothers and sisters who until now, for the good part, have stayed aloof and watched us in total resignation as we battle a force that is not out there for anything else but to annihilate the people of Southern Cameroons. Some of these African brothers and sisters accuse us even for not being Pan-Africanist enough, because they simply see in our struggle a desire to create our own state and to run away from other Africans with whom we should normally stay together, be bonded together, and be strong together. I want to inform you that the people of Southern Cameroons, who voted in 1961 in a referendum organized by the United Nations to come together with La République du Cameroun in a loose union of equals, actually thought of Pan-Africanism. We had Pan-Africanism at the back of our minds. But what our people on the African continent fail to see today is that in the end, we were taken for a ride. We were bundled by our so-called brothers and sisters of La République du Cameroun and sold over to the French. And today, we are witnessing a kind of colonialism by proxy. Let me make this clear, that Pan-Africanism is not equal to colonialism by proxy. I want to also state here that if the world has not recognized yet, like the Italians have done, like the Germans have done, that France and its imperialist tendencies represent the biggest danger to world peace, then they need to have a rethink. The crisis that is ongoing in Southern Cameroons, or let me say in the Cameroons, was actually planned and cooked up by the French right from 1961. The history books are there to say that the French led a number of African countries, especially the Francophone African countries, with the exception of Mali, to vote against the independence of Southern Cameroons on the 21st of April, 1961 at the United Nations. That was because they had plans. That was because they were actually planning what is unfolding now. But to put records really straight, the carnage that the French decided to unleash on our people started in 1972, when the French realized that there were a lot of natural resources on the territory of the Southern Cameroons. They hurriedly pushed President Amadou Ahidjo, who at that time was extremely happy and was enjoying the federal system in the country and was excited to have two prime ministers under him, and who didn't make a mystery of it and was talking about it on the African continent as a wonderful experience. The French forced his hand to put an end by all means to the federal system, even in total violation of the 1961 Constitution in its Article 47, sub B. And the reason was because the French wanted to have unfettered access, unchecked access to our natural resources without having to answer any questions to a people of Southern Cameroons who were already so enlightened and who would have loved to know exactly how our resources were being exploited and what we stood to benefit in terms of ensuring the development of our land. That is when the seeds of this discord were sown. So today, when you go around to talk with people on the international scene about the situation in Southern Cameroons, and they tell us that we should give up this struggle because France has a veto power, because France will not accept anything that liberates Southern Cameroons from the grips of La République du Cameroun, through whom they are able to exploit our resources without answering any questions to anybody. It is laughable. When they tell us that the highest France can accept that we get is a kind of decentralization which doesn't put the two zones, the northern zone and the southern zones, together in one structure so that they will continue to have their way to our resources, it is again a clear insult to our people. I want to take this opportunity to draw the attention of the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to the effect that although their country was never colonized by France, although they have no past colonial history with France, France is today so conscious of the fact that her ambitions in the Gulf of Guinea will only be protected if they extend their colonial tentacles, their neo-colonial tentacles into Nigeria. And they have a willing partner in President Muhammadu Buhari. That is why, in the days ahead, don't be shocked to hear that there has been a serious insurrection or a war that is ongoing in Taraba State, in Cross River State, because the French are cooking this up with the complicity of the Buhari administration in order to blame it on Southern Cameroons because they have done everything possible to get the government of President Buhari come into open war, engage the Nigerian military directly into the Southern Cameroons to protect French interests. Because they failed to secure that, they think the only way to do is to force the hand of Nigeria. And because Mr. Buhari has made it clear to them, he will find it difficult to pass such a resolution through the Nigerian parliament, they now felt and they feel that the only way to get to that will be to organize such a charade of an attack, blame it on Southern Cameroonians, and then force the Nigerian government, make it easy for President Buhari to send troops into the border towns of the Southern Cameroons to help La République du Cameroun on their ongoing annihilation attempt on the people of the Southern Cameroons. Again, it is also an approach to see how to create confusion and try a way to get involved in the elections in Nigeria and guarantee that Mr. Buhari stays in place, because they find in Mr. Buhari a willing horse that is anxious because of his power greed to continue to give the basic kind of support that the French want to implement their policies in the Gulf of Guinea. The French are convinced that they are not likely to have a free hand with Mr. Atiku Abubakar, who appears to have the serious backing of former President Olusegun Obasanjo. These are things that we need to know. I'm drawing the attention of the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the attention of the people of Southern Cameroons, the attention of the people of Africa, and the attention of the leaders of the world to take note of this charade, that the French are cooking out something simply because they want to continue milking not only Africa, but the people of Southern Cameroons to fuel their economy to our detriment. If the veto power that France has is basically to ensure the continuous and permanent loss of lives on the African continent, then it is regrettable that the rest of the world will sit down and watch such a thing happen. And I want to say this very clearly and honestly, that the people of Southern Cameroons today, where we are determined to die one after the other until we are completely wiped out for the French to protect their veto power. Because if the French will continue to do what they are doing in the Cameroons, what is certain is that there is definitely not going to be any peace there until, I can't say when, because the people are clear. We have already lost tens of thousands of our people killed in the name of the French Republic, killed in the name of the pleasure of the people of France. My dear brothers and sisters, let me draw their attention of each and every one to the effect that there is a lot of manipulation going on right now, even as I speak. The people of La République du Cameroun, weary of the fact that having brought in military people from all over Central Africa, they're still finding it difficult to overcome, have resorted to internal manipulation among our people. That is why today they have sent proxies everywhere to approach us. Leaders of this revolution are being approached. Activists in this revolution are being approached. Individuals who are considered to have even the least influence are being approached. And the overall objective is to make sure they sow confusion and bring us into total infighting once more so that they can have their way. That is how, as soon as they approach someone in the newly created Ambazonia military force, the AMF, I wonder what leverage they actually think they have to be able to dictate a ceasefire. They rush quickly to social media to announce that the AMF is about to call a ceasefire and that the AMF is already calling on everybody to lay down their arms. I think we already followed an audio that came out before this plan is being hashed that announced that on the 4th of February, everybody should put down their arms. Let us know that those who continue to tell us that the independence we are seeking, that the freedom we are gunning for is a forlorn dream, is a pipe dream, because it will never come to pass, and they ask us to look back at the number of years we have been fighting. Let me also remind them that behind every successful man lies a good number of years of failure. Yes, it is the past failures of the successful people that fuel their anxiety to continue until they attain the levels that they have attained today. If you doubt me, talk to the billionaires of the world. They will tell you their humble beginnings and they will tell you their failures. If you doubt me, read President Barack Obama's The Audacity of Hope. And you'll see the number of years he failed in an attempt to attract even just attention to his political ambitions. And after failure upon failure, he got learning. And eventually, he made it. He got to where we all saw, to where we all see today. My dear people, let me make this clear to us all. We are engaged in a battle for our very existence. That is the reason we must continue to rage on until we attain what truly belongs to us. No one shall frighten us to stop. Let me be clear that what we need today, more than ever before, is a come together. Is a meeting that will bring all the people of the Southern Cameroons together. The Federalists, the Restorationists, the Unitarists, and everyone to ensure that we as a people tell the world what we want. That we as a people speak with one voice. That we as a people stand to indicate to the world that we want things to change. And we want those things to change as soon as possible. That can only be done in a gathering that brings all of us together basically as equals. With no one coming under the canopy of group or whatsoever, or with no one coming as I am this, I am that. So that we can sit down together and chart a path forward for our suffering people and ensure that we prove to the world that we are capable of taking care of our own destiny. Yes, we are capable of doing that. Yes, I'm convinced that the people of Southern Cameroons are not as dull as some want to think we are. We are capable of setting aside our differences and to rush to what is the common good. May the Holy Spirit of God lead us.